Hello, Adam.
Hey, Nick, what's happening, man?
It is good to be here. Good to be here today.
Dude, it's good to see you. I got a question the other day. It was, how many credit cards should I have?
How many credit cards should I have?
Yeah.
Where were you?
I spoke at this college event where, students are obviously a little concerned about their credit score and getting an apartment, getting their first car, all those kinds of things.
Yep.
And so one of the questions that came up was, how many credit cards should I have?
That is a very common question.
It is, right?
How many credit cards should I have? Yeah, what did you say?
Well, what I told him very candidly was, if you're asking me that, hopefully you don't have like 6 or 7 already.
Yeah.
That would be a problem. But in all reality, the biggest difference is, first of all, what credit reporting agency we're talking about. You know, are you checking your credit score a number of times? Are you getting new credit all the time? Candidly, there's like 75 different algorithms that are used to calculate a credit score. And at one point in time, there was this rumor that if you had more than a certain number of credit cards, it would depress your score.
Gotcha.
And in reality, they have changed a lot of that algorithmic programming.
Okay.
Where now it doesn't really matter how many credit cards you have. What really matters is, are the payments made on time, and how much of the credit are you actually utilizing?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's good because we talked about credit score, how to improve it, etc. But the two main things that I heard you just say was, well, first of all, it's not so much how many credit cards you have. It's more so about credit utilization rate, and then are you paying on time?
Right.
So when you say how many credit cards should I have, it is solely based on your habits and behavior and how you manage the credit cards.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
How many credit cards do you have?
Oh my gosh.
6 or 7.
I hesitate to even share this number. I know we have 3 or 4 personal cards.
Okay.
But my wife uses like a Banana Republic card, and
Yep.
she's got a Macy's card and a Kohl's card. I don't really carry any of those,
Okay.
but technically they show up on our credit report, right?
Right.
But then I have 3 for business use.
Okay. 3
And-
separate business credit cards.
I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And the reasoning behind that is I've got one that's a Hilton Honors card.
Okay.
So I use that for hotel
Yep.
stays because I get more points that way. I've got one that, actually I have 2 that are American Airlines points.
Okay.
And I did that because I was travel hacking at one point. So
Gotcha.
I think I got 65 or 75,000 miles by using one card. So I signed up for one, and then I got the same on another card.
Yep.
So 150,000 miles is enough for, like 5 one-way tickets to Europe. So,
Okay.
so hence that's why I did that. But I probably have more than the average person.
Sure.
And I would recommend that if you are just getting started and you're asking that question, how many cards should I have? The answer, or a realistic answer, would be 2, maybe 3.
Okay.
And again, the now versus then discussion was, some time ago, the algorithms had written in them that if you had more than, I want to say it was, you had to have more than 3 to get a good score, but if you had more than 5 or 6, your score would actually go down.
Got it.
Today, that's not the way it is.
Sure.
So you could have 170 cards out there, and it probably wouldn't be a big deal if you didn't have a lot on those cards.
Right.
But if you did, if you charged them all up, then that would look negative.
Yeah. That's pretty crazy because I have one personal card and I have one business card, and for the explorers and listeners, I'm a very minimalistic, simplistic guy, so I definitely like to keep my credit cards to a minimum. However, I did open a card, the Chase Sapphire card, for travel because when people ask how many credit cards should I have, for me, especially if they're looking to get a new one or if it's their first one, the question I ask them is, well, what's important to you? Do you like to travel? Do you want cash back? Do you drive a lot? So gas helps. Knowing where they spend their money can also help them figure out, what card should you have. Yeah.
And that's super solid advice too, because if someone, they're in a job where they don't have a lot of time off and they probably won't travel, then a travel perks card might not make that much sense. But if they get cash back, like a Discover card, or I think Capital One probably has a cash back card. If you're getting cash back, so you get an extra $100 or $200 at the end of the year, that may make a big difference, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So in general, my recommendation on this is have at least one for sure. And the reason behind this, and I'm going to kind of smack in the face of advice that probably Dave Ramsey would give, who's cutting up cards left and right, is I like having a credit card because it allows you to travel easily. It provides insurance when you travel. It's simplicity when you're buying online and you're protected from that. So I could give you a number of different reasons why you should have at least one card. But it's up to you if you want more than that. For me, it was just a personal choice, but at least have one to begin building that credit score over time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, ideally 1 to 2 that you're using consistently would be the challenge for y'all today. And by the way, when you use that credit card, there's really 2 numbers that matter. You want to go through those, the utilization and
Sure.
payment.
You mean the 2 factors?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So the credit utilization is, how much of the credit limit are you using? So for example, if you have a $10,000 credit limit on your credit card, you want to be at least under 30%, right? So meaning you don't want the balance on that credit card to be more than $3,000. 3,000 out of the 10,000 would be 30%. And so, so long as you are spending beneath that or have a balance beneath that across all your credit cards, it shouldn't necessarily impact your credit score all that much. And then the second one is making sure that you pay your credit card on time. So like knowing what date it is,
Yes.
Not just the minimums, but what the entire balance is, so you can pay it off on a monthly basis.
Totally.
So anything else that you want to add?
Well, my last challenge to anyone who out there listening who has credit card debt is pay very close attention to how much you're making in payments and making sure that those payments are going to pay off the credit card debt. There are so many folks out there that are probably sitting in, what would feel like fairly heavy credit card debt, and the payments that you're sending in actually don't really go to the principal. It's just paying interest.
Yeah.
And credit card companies have been known to engineer minimum payments that keep you in that debt for a very, very long time. So make sure that when you're making a payment on your credit card, you're making more than the minimum to begin paying that principal off or down over time.
Yeah.
Cool?
Cool.
Nice. So on the next show, we are going to be talking about everyone's favorite topic,
What's that?
financial independence.
Financial independence.
Yeah.
I love it.
Where we probably won't use credit cards the same way
Yeah,
when we're
exactly.
financially independent. So stay tuned. We'll be back on the next show. Peace out.